Hello everybody and welcome to the MoneyShift YouTube channel. I am Thanasi and today we are back for another episode of the Lightning Files. Now, we got some bad news. The Lightning Files is no longer. After today, this file page ends, and the reason why is because we canceled our order. Canceled. The Lightning order has been canceled. Now, what, where, how, why, what happened during this process that led me to cancel the order for the F-150 Lightning? Well, it goes in three phases. Number one, dealer interaction. Number two, Ford priority. And number three, timing. So let's get into each of those. Number one, dealer interaction. Now it seems as though the Ford dealer that I was directly dealing with, and I need to caveat that because this is not true. This is not the case for all Ford dealers. This was just the actor that I was dealing with was not the best. I called them about or around 10 times over the course of this reservation process, which, by the way, started in May of last year. So 6 times from May till now is not actually that much. It's not like I was on the phone with them every weekend. And I was given a bit of a runaround. I was told that Ford's priority would be determined specifically on which model Lightning I chose and what my build would be, when we all know as Ford Lightning reservation holders that that is not the case. Now, I tried to make that known to them that you would need to be selected before you can place your order, but it seemed like the people that I was dealing with didn't want that to be a reality. Didn't want me to know that that was the truth. I was just getting the runaround on why I wasn't being selected. Wave after wave would go by and my number was not called. And this is a large dealer. They do a lot of volume, and I made my reservation day 1, minute 5. I was one of the closest to start reservation numbers you could have possibly been, so I should have been in at the very least wave 2 of this wave process. And yet my name still hadn't been called. So that is number one. Now, the second thing we're going to touch on is Ford themselves and how they dealt with priority. Now, you could have dealt with a dealer that went one of two ways. One, they either honored your reservation timing in terms of where they put you in their order, or two, they allowed other people to give the dealership money and bump themselves up the priority order. Now, this is a problem that I had with Ford directly. Ford needed to put a sort of mandate down, a lockdown, something that forced dealers to honor based on reservation timing and not allow folks to hop, skip, and jump in front of other people based on personal connections at the dealer or financial additions, right? Giving $5,000, giving $10,000 to jump up the priority line. That is a massive problem that Ford had, and it led to a lot of folks like myself who should have been rewarded for making a reservation early on and sort of taking the risk, and we weren't, right? I called my dealership 2 weeks ago and found out I was actually number 23 on the list. Now, I'm sorry, there is no way that 23 people placed their reservation before me. I found out later on that that was friends and family, as well as some folks that paid $5,000 to $10,000 that were sort of awarded the priority spots at that dealership over someone like myself. I think that's a massive problem, and it stems from the top. That stems directly from Ford. That is something Ford needs to step in and fix. That should not be a thing. That shouldn't be possible. Now, I may seem like I'm complaining because I went with a dealer that chose a different practice versus another dealer that would have rewarded me based on my reservation position. But the fact of the matter is, all dealers should have been awarding allocations based on reservation positions and nothing else. Full stop. That's just how it should have been. And that problem stems with Ford, even though that is a dealer interaction. Ford is the one that sets the tone. Ford is the one that punishes folks when they do things out of line. Ford needed to step up here, and they did not. Now, this doesn't even have to do with the fact that the Ford Pro model of the Lightning sold out after wave one. We knew going into this that each of the models were going to be limited in terms of their allocation for the first year of Lightning production. No one expected that each of their orders were going to get filled. Now, it was a bummer that the Pro was sold out after week one, but it is what it is. I sort of knew that going in. I just assumed I would be in wave one because of my reservation time, but I wasn't. And that brings me to problem number 3. Problem number 3, timing. Now, what does all of that mean? T, you've spent, however long talking about how the timing you spent making your reservation should have been your allocation. What are you talking about? How is number 3 timing? For number 1 and number 2 were timing. What the heck? How is that not number 3 as well? Well, I'll tell you, because it's different. Number 3 is timing of the Lightning itself. If you weren't able to get a Lightning within this calendar year, you have a problem. Ford has already told us that in 2024, a new model of Lightning will come out. A new electric pickup, a redesigned frame, new batteries, what have you. A new model of the Lightning is coming to us in 2024. And that model will make this model obsolete. We've seen how electric cars over time render the old ones useless. This notion of perceived obsolescence is compounded with the electric vehicle. So if you do not get a Lightning within this calendar year and you get one next year, now you're just 12 to 18 months removed from the unveiling of the new Lightning, which likely will be meaningfully better than this current vehicle. So I told myself if I wasn't able to get one in this calendar year, that reservation would be canceled. And that is especially true when you look at other vehicles coming soon. We have the Rivian R1T, which is out now. We have the Silverado EV, which is coming next year. We have more Cybertrucks, the whole nine. All these other pickup trucks are coming within the next few years, all of which provide more than the Lightning. So if you haven't gotten your truck yet and you're heavily considering you really want a Ford Lightning, think about that. 2024, a new Lightning model is going to come out. So do you want to get this one if you haven't been able to get one already? That was my dilemma, which brings me to our announcement. I placed a reservation day one, minute one, on a Silverado EV. And I registered with one of the largest dealerships in New England, McMulkin, Cadillac, and Chevrolet. And I was told day one that my reservation was clicked off and that I was number 2 in line. So I will 100% be getting a Silverado EV within that first year. And if you look at the capabilities of that truck with nearly 400 miles of range, it seems to already, on paper, outperform the Lightning. Now, both of these are on paper because none of these trucks are available, but it at the very least will be competitive and deliveries will be starting next year. And it seems like that reservation process was a lot smoother. Now, I could have just pulled the luck of the draw with the right Chevrolet dealership that actually honors reservation timing, or maybe Chevrolet is just dropping the hammer down better. Unclear. But those are my thoughts. That is why I canceled my Lightning reservation. How the dealership handled the situation was wild. They treated me like someone that didn't know how this process worked, that didn't understand, that didn't read into it, that I was just a sort of guy off the street strolling into a dealership and hoping for the best. That wasn't the case. Number 2, Ford should have put the Mac down on the dealers that were misperforming and handling the reservation process wrong. Early reservation holders should have been rewarded for the risk that they took for putting a reservation down on a vehicle that's really, really new. Ford hasn't made an all-electric, pickup truck since the Ford Ranger Electric in the 90s. This is definitely risky, and I wasn't rewarded for making something early on. I'm not looking for, cash back or some crazy special edition. I was just looking to get my truck within the calendar year that it was expected. And then number 3, timing. We know a new truck is coming in 2024. So if you don't get it in calendar year 22, now you're just a year and change out from a truck that'll probably render the existing Lightning obsolete. And those are my thoughts, those are my opinions, and they don't have to be yours. Let me know what you think in the comments. Am I wrong for canceling my order? Am I wrong for expecting the dealership to honor reservation priority instead of friends and family or another bonus that someone has been giving them? Let me know in the comments. This is Thanasi. This is the end of the Lightning Files. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.